We're going to identify how to calculate the cost of goods sold and the cost of ending inventory under various situations. So the best way to learn this is through a scenario. Okay, and so I'm going to give you one. And what I have to do is give you an inventory list. This list happens to be in chronological order, class. Chronological order from the earliest to the latest. Okay? And so since we're doing this online, I will break it down as easy as possible. We can even give some dates here. So let's start off with some dates. And the dates are not a big deal. Normally in my physical class, I don't throw dates in there because I want you guys to think sometimes, you know? So let's throw some dates in here. Dates really doesn't matter, okay? These are dates, numbers, right? And so we also need units. And we also need price. Okay? So on the first, we have beginning inventory. On the first, we have beginning inventory of 10 units at, I don't know, $2. Okay? Let's assume on the second, we made a purchase of 4 units at $3. On the third, let's assume that we made a sale of 6 units, let's say at, I don't know, $20. Okay? Let's assume that we made another purchase of 5 units at $4. Let's assume that we made a sale of 7 units at $20. And let's assume we made a purchase of 1 unit at $5. Okay? So this is the list, pretty much followed by a date, unit, and price, and I'll repeat it. Let's assume that beginning inventory basically equates to what you started out with. Beginning inventory is always ending inventory of the previous year or the previous period. So we started out with 10 units at a price, at a cost, a purchase price of $2. We made another purchase of 4 units at a cost of $3. Pay close attention to this next component. We made a sale of 6 units, but this wasn't our purchase price. This was our what? Selling price. We sold it for $20. That's why it's so high. Then we made another purchase of 5 units at a cost of us at $4. Then we made another sale of 7 units. Again, this is the selling price of $20. Then we made one last purchase at the end of the period, and it cost us $5. So this is the list that we're going to use in order to calculate 2 components, 2 numbers. The cost of goods that we sold and the cost of goods that we didn't sell, which we call cost of ending inventory. Cost of goods sold is a what type of account? Expense. So that belongs on which financial statement? The income statement. Ending inventory is a what? Asset. So that belongs on which financial statement? The balance sheet. And so that's what we're about to do. We have 4 methods, 4 ways to calculate to get the cost of goods sold and the cost of ending inventory. Okay? And so the first thing that you have to do the first thing that you have to do is find out, well, first things first, before we even get to that, because we're only worried about the cost of how much the inventory we bought that we sold and the cost of how much inventory that we bought that we didn't sell, are we really concerned with the sales price right now? We're only concerned with the cost, right? We're not concerned with the selling price. So what I like to do is scratch out the sales because we don't need that number right now. We're only concerned with the cost of our goods, what we paid for it, not what we sold. So you may ask, well, what are these numbers here for? They're here to calculate our revenue. Technically, if we sold 6 units, how much revenue did we generate? What is that? 6 and 2, 120, $120. Technically, if we sold 7 units and a second sale, what revenue did we generate? 7 units times 20, $140. But we don't need to know about our revenues. We need to know about our cost of goods sold and our cost of ending inventory. And so I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to talk about the steps on the next lecture.